What's up, guys? I'm Joe. Today I'm going to talk about the new Blink-182 album, The Knife. Just kidding, I know it's the new Goldfinger album. But, just to get right into it, something I did notice right away is how much it sounds like the newest Blink-182 album at times. Also, by the way, sorry for this terrible lighting. I have a desk lamp over here that I normally have on. I knocked it over accidentally. It no longer works. Now it's kind of dark in these videos. But anyway, yeah, some backstory behind that. John Feldmann, the singer of Goldfinger, actually produced the Blink album, California. So interestingly enough, when the first single of this Goldfinger album came out, Put the Knife Away, it bared a striking resemblance to the songs on California. So I would imagine this means, and I know he was credited in a lot of the songs, if not all of them, that John Feldmann had a lot to do with the writing of that album, which features, Mark and Travis, but also Matt Skiba. I like California, and also, just because I'm saying a lot of the songs on The Knife sound like it, I honestly don't think it's really a bad thing. When I first heard Put the Knife Away, I was a little like, only because I thought it would be weird for Feldmann to produce California and then to just release an album much like it. Though, California was a very successful album, so it makes sense to try to emulate that. And if he was part of the writing anyway, it's his own kind of style at this point. But, Put the Knife Away was okay, but it did kind of grow on me. That being said, some of the other kind of pop-punky California-sounding songs, the opener, A Million Miles, they work for me a lot more. A Million Miles gets the album off to a really great start, very energetic, nice minor-sounding chord progression, so it's not overly happy-sounding or anything. But then, what's interesting about this album, it's pretty much like every other song. Number one is like Blink-182 sounding, and then the next song is like a pretty good ska song. And that repeats throughout the entire album almost. And as a fan of ska music, I'm a big fan of Real Big Fish, Streetlight Manifesto, Less Than Jake. I've seen Goldfinger a bunch of times with Real Big Fish. I'm digging the ska songs. I know ska isn't the biggest genre, but I've noticed, in Real Big Fish or Streetlight shows lately, the crowd's just getting bigger and bigger and younger, and I think it's a genre that is somewhat sustainable. I'm glad to hear a good half of this album, is these ska songs. When I first heard Put the Knife Away, I kind of just assumed that that's what the whole album would be. So basically, that's not the case. Half the album is kind of this pop-punk, Blink-182 sounding vibe, and then the other half is, pretty cool ska songs or reggae influenced, and it definitely works for me. It's nothing groundbreaking or anything like that, but I just think it's a fun album. It's a good summer album, I think, and, I was really looking for that kind of thing. Now that I think about it, I don't know what else really would have taken that place for me, of just like an album that fits the summer kind of vibe and just throw it in the car or something like that. And this album for me definitely does the job. Beacon is another good one as far as like the pop punk songs go. Again, very like hard hitting. And while I would say it's like a pop punk kind of vibe with these songs, they definitely have a good energy to them. If you want one that really sounds like California, See You Around is definitely one of those, because Mark Hoppus is on the song, which I thought was pretty cool. That's definitely a good song. It's essentially the California lineup, just with John Feldmann and the rest of Goldfinger in there, because Travis Barker does all the drums on this album too. So it's cool to see that they have become somewhat of a collaborative force, Goldfinger and Blink-182. It's kind of interesting, kind of cool. I'd say one of my favorites on here is probably Say It Out Loud, because I think that this one, out of all the songs, instead of being one or the other, the pop punk or the ska, this one merges them pretty well, I thought. And I like that. You're getting the pop punk kind of vibe, but with the horns on it. In tune with what Goldfinger has done in the past, for sure. Tijuana Sunrise is another single. Pretty good like reggae vibe to it. As far as like lyrics on this album, I saw some reviews that were just kind of trashing the lyrical content, and I don't know. I just don't think Goldfinger has ever been like a source of like lyrical genius or anything like that. I definitely have never gone to Goldfinger for the lyrical content. It's just more about fun punk or pop punk ska songs, with probably usually a funny twist to them, as most ska songs do. And while the lyrics aren't fantastic, especially something like Orthodontist Girl is kind of odd, it's just it's fine, whatever. And like some of these tracks aren't the best. I'm not a big fan of the last two songs, Lift Off and Mila. You know, and some of the middle ones as well. It's definitely not a perfect album by any means for me, but you know, for the most part, just a fun one, enjoyable. Something I don't like, and what I didn't like about California, and I will now blame John Feldmann officially for this because it is on this album, are all the whoa, like every freaking song, and they're even the same. I think they're the same. I'll play it briefly. Alright, now I'm gonna go to Blink-182, California, the opening track, Cynical. I feel like I've been hearing this a million times. I have another example for you. There's this band called Beautiful Bodies. I don't think they're still together, unfortunately. The singer has gone solo, so check that out. John Feldmann produced this album as well. It's the same whoa, and all these albums, John. I'm catching on. I don't know how many other people caught, you know, that these three albums all have the same whoa, but I got you. But anyway, overall, I think this is a really fun album, good album. I especially like the ska songs on the album as a fan of ska music, but the pop punk kind of stuff works for me as well. Not all great, but definitely just a fun album. Don't think too much about it. It's pop punk, it's ska music. Just enjoy it. It's a nice summer album. So I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. Definitely worth checking out this summer. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to check out the rest of my reviews on here. There's plenty more coming up this week, I'm sure. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.